We are here for the workshop Embracing Self-Care, supporting our own mental and emotional wellness. This is something that's hitting home these weeks and these times of days. So I'm excited to just talk to you about it and hear from you as well. My name is Jamie, and I am the Family Engagement Specialist at Childcare Answers. I will not claim to be an expert on self-care. I am learning alongside of you today. This was really refreshing to put together this workshop for me and my own personal journey. So I hope that maybe you'll be able to take away something. I think we're all growing in our own self-care, and we'll always continue to be growing in our own self-care. So I do want to just share that with you. I am here just on the same page as you. We are a part of Childcare Answers is a part of the Childcare Resource and Referral Agency, and we specifically support the counties Hendricks, Hamilton, and Marion. There are a total of 5 CCR&Rs across the state, and we make up the Childcare Resource and Referral Network. So there are 5 of us, and we all essentially do the same thing in supporting families and childcare providers and just promoting early childhood education throughout the state. At Childcare Answers, we aim to assure the highest level of early childhood education for children in Central Indiana, and we achieve this by supporting families, community agencies, and businesses, also childcare professionals. And then for more information about us, you can visit us at childcareanswers.org. But it is a great resource there. We have a lot on our website, and hopefully eventually this will be on there too. So there's a lot there, so check it out. So I don't know about you, I kind of mentioned this earlier, but self-care isn't something that comes naturally to me. I'm very type A, I'm a people pleaser. I really like to do things right, and that doesn't really cater to self-care all the time. I wish it would, but it's hard for me. And so in efforts to just be intentional about this time together and help us all settle in, I wanted each of us just to take a moment, and it's just going to be like 10 seconds or so, but take a few deep breaths, or if you want to fill up your tea or coffee or whatever you're drinking, or just close your eyes for a minute or stand up and stretch, I encourage you to do so. But I'm going to take a few deep breaths here, and then I'm going to read this quote out loud, and that's going to be kind of our time just to center ourselves so we can start this conversation. So here we go. Let yourself be soft. Take your time easing into new things. You are allowed to give new experiences time before they become beautiful to you. This is from Morgan Harper Nichols, and if you don't have Instagram, I encourage you to get it. First of all, I think it's a really great tool, but if you do have Instagram, you can go ahead and follow her at Morgan Harper Nichols. She is a wonderful poet, and I really enjoy her work. This to me right here is just giving us permission to start something new and to do it gracefully. We really just have to give ourselves times to set new habits, and they might not feel good at first, and we might not want to do them at first, but we definitely can make these habits become beautiful to us. So parent fatigue is real, and you know it, and I know it. And the great thing is that research is starting to back us up in all these feelings that we might be feeling. So according to a study done by Welch's in 2017, the time spent being a mom is equivalent to about 2.5 full-time jobs. Does this surprise you at all, parents out there? I know it does not surprise me. I am a mom to an 8-month-old, and I am constantly going. And so they state in this research that moms only get on average about 17 minutes of free time to themselves, which seems a little bit crazy, but when you chart out your day when it comes to work, or if you're even a stay-at-home mom, there's so much you're doing all the time. So I wanted you to just take a moment and think maybe 1 or 2 things that keeps you busy throughout your day. It could be related to work. It could be related to just, I don't know, like paying the bills, anything that is just part of being an adult or adulthood. Having to choose meals, such a big one. Time management. Yeah. Full-time toddler. Yep. Full-time job. Yes. Yes. Oh, and with child, yes. So it's absolutely, I think meals might be that's a good point to make. I think it's a full-time job just trying to figure out what you're going to have, let alone collecting all of that, then getting it all and then taking care of it. Whether or not you have a partner supporting you in that, it's a lot of work. Absolutely. Well, the number one cause of parent fatigue typically is related to time demands. Being a parent and or a caregiver takes time. It takes time from the cooking to the cleaning and then just playing with your child and ensuring that all their needs are met and that you're being able to have those times as a parent or a caregiver just to be with them and alongside them. That's really important. And time starts to slip away. And what's the first thing to go? Time with ourselves, time for ourselves. So the stress of trying to keep up with this is made worse often with technology. I don't know if you have felt this as well, but there are times where I feel like my technology, my phone is a hindrance. And then there's times where it's a really great benefit, like having my calendar on there and some apps that help me keep organized, but also from text messages, just popping up or notifications from social media. It can be really great, but then, you can fall into things like comparison traps that doesn't help our self-care. It can really hinder it. So I think, technology has added a layer to self-care in this time that we're living in. And then lastly, parent fatigue is really enhanced by complex changes in relationships. So when you become a parent, your relationships change and they shift. I'm experiencing this right now, again, as a new mom of an 8-month-old. I've noticed, my time to be able to do things with my friends has really changed. And also with the pandemic, adding changes to relationships too, due to just not being able to see people in person as much. So when you become a parent, your priorities and your energies kind of just shift. And this could be really difficult for some friends to understand, or even some partners. So we do have opportunities to grow in new relationships, but these relationships aren't always easy, and it can just feel tiring and lonely sometimes. And that feeling of loneliness can just really enhance a feeling of stress. So these are some of the main, I guess, symptoms or causes of stress that we might feel. There's a lot more, obviously, including finances and just time management and organizing, but these are the main ones. So stress and fatigue definitely has effect on our bodies, both physically and emotionally. So I just want you to take a moment and look at the screen. I'm not going to read them all, but we do have physical effects and mental and emotional effects when it comes to stress. So take a moment, read through them, and then let's do a little self-assessment here. So have you experienced any of these feelings? Obviously, we all have at some point, but have you experienced them as it relates to stress? When do they kind of tick in or come in? And how often do you experience these? Being able to look through these and just analyzing them helps you kind of assess your body and where you are at. And knowing your physical signs of stress can really help you detect what you need in terms of self-care. Like personally, I know I need to step back and take time for myself when my back is starting to feel really tense. I feel it very strongly in my upper shoulders. My coworker said that sometimes she clenches her teeth. That could be a physical sign as well. Also, I know when I'm feeling socially withdrawn and I just want to sit on the TV and watch Netflix for the next 48 hours, that's a sign to me that okay, I'm feeling really, really stressed right now. So just knowing these helps. Ideally, I wouldn't let myself get to that point, but we're going to try to learn some self-care tips to be able to help us just manage our health. I think to start, it's important to really share what self-care is not. It is not selfish, and I want to preach that for everyone, and I'm going to say it louder in the back. It's not selfish. It's not selfish. And I think I struggle with this a lot. We all have a right to practice self-care, and taking time for yourself as a parent really is about your ability to give more to others. If I am not taking care of me, I'm not going to be able to take care of you. Also, self-care is not a reward, and that might be a little bit controversial. But I really, when I was doing some research into this, I really like this idea that it's not a reward, because there's absolutely time and a place for me to take care of myself on a daily basis. Eventually, maybe one day you can reward yourself with things, and that it's fun and it's exciting. But it's really important to make sure that you have the strategies daily to be able to take care of yourself. So it's not just a reward. While you might be able to reward yourself at times, like I said, it's not just that. We want to make sure we're equipped to be able to handle everything that comes our way. And then self-care is not always relaxing. This is another one where I was like, I wish it was. But self-care is also about helping us grow as individuals. And sometimes we have to talk about and do things that are hard because we're just not used to them. That's why I like the beginning quote that I shared. It takes time for things to become beautiful. And so just acknowledging that it might be hard at first, especially if you're starting a new routine. And then also, self-care is not forced upon us. If you don't like yoga, then self-care is not yoga for you. I think oftentimes when we think of self-care, we think meditation and yoga, which is 100% part of it. But if that's not the way that you find calmness and peace, then do what you need to do for your self-care. So I really encourage you to figure that out and take some time to assess what brings you happiness. And then lastly, self-care is not really an excuse to overindulge. Again, I have been guilty of this as well, but it's doing something in more of a balance. It's trying to find that balance within your life so that you can take time for yourself and enjoy those things, but then also be able to manage and be equipped for those stressful times. So we kind of talked a little bit about this already, but self-care really is just listening to your body's needs. It's managing stressors. It's asking yourself things like, how am I sleeping? How am I eating? Am I feeling tense in my body? Do I have aches? It's taking care of yourself so that you can be healthy and you can be well and you can do your job, that whatever that might be at work and with your children. And then also, I really liked the quote, self-care is anything that you do for yourself that feels nourishing. It's about managing those stressors and really acknowledging that it's about growth. So I think of nourishing as a word when it comes to gardening or with plant life. You nourish it by adding water, and it takes time for that to grow. Self-care, I think, is just that. It's not a quick fix. It's not something that you're going to do once and do a lot of it once and then be done with it. It's something that you have to keep feeding so that you can grow. There are obvious signs, positive outcomes for managing our health and our self-care. I see these and I think, well, why am I not doing this all the time? Because it's so great. But again, it is hard to set those routines. But positive health outcomes it does improve your immune system. It helps reduce stress. It increases resilience, and it helps you have a higher self-esteem in general. So trying to find that balance will improve a lot of areas in your life. Before we dive into what we can do, I would love to know ways that have worked for you or ways that have not worked for you. I have a list of ways that have not worked for me. I'm still in my rhythm, finding my rhythm. But what has worked for you? I know for me, I'm not a runner, and I tried to do that once and it was not for me. Running was not for me, but I have found I am someone who benefits from yoga and taking time to do stretches. Not even yoga, just general stretches really has helped me. Anything that has helped you that might be something that's a little non-traditional? Yeah, light workouts every other day. Yep. Taking that time just to move the body, but not getting too intense. Yep. Hot tub. That sounds really nice. Thursday night hot tub and Grey's Anatomy, just keeping active and stretching. Yep. Well, we will definitely love to learn more. Music therapy, that's really great. Music is a great tool. Okay, so where do we start? These might seem basic, but it's important to start with the foundations. For some, getting started is the hardest part, and for others, it is harder to maybe maintain what you're starting. So 3 ways that we can all get started. The first thing, without a doubt, is to get more sleep. If you are a parent, you probably don't have enough sleep. It's just the trick of the trade. So we definitely need more sleep. And if you think about ways to get more sleep, it might seem kind of impossible, but I know for me, it might be as simple as just turning off the TV 30 minutes earlier and just starting my bedtime routine, just a little bit earlier each night. It might not be giving me tons of extra sleep, but it might make my sleep more, have more quality to it. And instead of just saying, oh, I'm going to sleep 9 hours tonight, and then the toddler wakes up like 4 times and you're in and out of the bedroom, and it didn't work out. So finding ways to make your sleep have more of a quality is one way that you can start. Also, just aiming small, not trying to do it all at once. I'm super guilty of this, trying to say, I know what I need to do. I need to do this, 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 and this. So I'm going to start this today, this tomorrow, and try to just do everything at once. And that's not going to work. So instead of doing like a full makeover, choose one thing and do it every day for a week or two and make it manageable and flexible. If you choose journaling, make sure you let it just kind of happen organically throughout the day. Don't rely on maybe like a journal as in like a notebook, but maybe have like a journal on your phone. I use my notes sometimes in my phone, and I just jot down some ideas or notes, or if I'm feeling stressed and I have a to-do list in my head, I will just open my notes in my phone and just start writing it there, because then the paper is remembering it and not me. So find ways that is flexible. It doesn't always have to be the traditional route. But do it every day and give it a try. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Try something new. And then lastly, just reflect. We've talked about this earlier, but reflect on your body, your heart, your mind, what's going on. What are your top priorities for the day? Can I take something out? Do I need to add something in? So there's a lot of different ways that you can do that. And then we'll dive a little bit deeper into a couple other ways. One of them is emotional self-care. I really like this quote. I thought it was something that hit home to me. It's not selfish to love yourself, take care of yourself, and to make your happiness a priority. It's necessary. So with emotional self-care, there's a lot of different things that you can see here on the screen. I today just wanted to give you a lot of opportunity to think through what self-care could be, so that you can choose what works for you. So emotional self-care can mean making time for you emotionally. Maybe that means being in nature. Maybe that means taking time to journal. I really liked, I think was it Brandon that just put that in the chat box? He said that writing has helped him. I call it an evening power down, but I will plan for the next day and notate my accomplishments. That's a really great idea. And that's a way to just spend time for yourself and to really work on trying to just see positives throughout your day. So like I said, you could be in nature. You can list things that are on your mind using your phone or a notepad. Something that people don't often talk about is giving space to be sad. Let yourself be sad for a few moments. If you're feeling overwhelmed, just take that minute and feel that emotion. If it's easy for you to get out of that emotion, it's easier to feel it too. But allow that space to be sad. And then give your self permission to daydream. I know whenever I go on a walk with my husband, we daydream. We talk about things that just like, what if we could do this? Where would we go if we would do this? And like talk through things that are just like what ifs in a positive way. So make time for you. And then also positive affirmations are a great tool for your emotional self-care. I use these when I'm feeling extremely anxious or guilty about something. You can also just use them daily just to encourage yourself. But if I'm feeling maybe overwhelmed or guilty that I'm not spending enough time with my child, I could say something like, loving myself is a gift I can give to my child. Just affirming that, like, I need to work on this and me so that my child can see what self-care looks like and they could take that on to themselves. And then also another way of self-care is really just looking at your to-do list and taking care of it. This is a really great tip for those type A's out there. Tidying up your to-do list is not wasting time. It's really just giving you space to declutter your mind. Another idea is just to declutter a small space in your house or in your workspace or wherever you are. Taking a moment to just organize it and make it feel better will help you just feel a little bit more organized internally as well. And then also think about what you can cut out of your schedule and then add something on your schedule just for you. Self-care emotionally can also look like engaging others into your self-care. So investing in your relationships, taking time to be with a friend or trying out a local spot, date your partner, take your partner out, go on a date and just get to know each other again. Because I know that with a lot of children or just even one child, you can feel a little distant, and taking that time together. Like I said, when we go on walks, we try to just talk about things that are not bills, not what ifs with our own lives right now. Just we dream. Consider doing something like acts of kindness for others. That will also help you with your own self-care, writing and sending cards, spreading kindness on social media, which is always a must. And then doing something small for something else. Maybe it's shoveling their driveway or getting their meal for them. And then create moments with your child. Unfortunately, sometimes we just can't do self-care without our children because they're going to be around. And sometimes it's really beautiful, and it can be very beautiful. So make cozy spots with your children, read with them, plan a one-on-one date with them, or even try something like yoga together. Physical self-care is definitely something that is really associated with self-care in general. And a lot of people think of running or exercise or eating healthy, which is all part of it, but there's a little bit more too that we're going to talk about. I liked this quote for physical self-care: caring for others is important, but COVID-19 taught us that sometimes by caring for yourself, you're caring for others too. And I really think this relates to our physical health as well. Keeping ourselves healthy is helping others, and especially our children, just maintain habits that are going to be beneficial for them as young adults and then adults. So physical self-care really can be, I put it in two camps, but it can be a lot of different things. But there's the exercise and then the healthy foods. Exercise, again, isn't just running. It could be stretching. I do this all the time. Because of my back, I just learned a lot of new stretches for my chiropractor. So I'll be trying those out. Doing a brisk walk isn't running, but it's just taking time to be outside and getting that energy out. Again, yoga or hiking is a great one if you love to be in nature. My sister goes on hikes like every month. She visits a new state park, and she does that for the 12 months. And she's made it a habit with her friend, and they've been doing that for the past 3 years. And every weekend they go on a hike at a new state park in Indiana. So I think doing something fun, making it exciting, can really help you just maintain that routine. And then also you can just dance. I know that sometimes we'll just turn music on in the kitchen and dance with our little 8-month-old Holder, and she thinks it's hilarious, but I'm getting my steps in as we go too. And then there's also a lot of free online videos that you can find at this QR code and this website, Well and Good. Healthy foods. This is also really hard. I just want to say everyone has their own way of eating healthy. I think that whatever works for you is what you need to do best. But there are some ways to just like generally eat healthier. One of them is just eating breakfast and having protein in your breakfast, whether it's some meat or some eggs or like a Greek yogurt. Protein really gives you a lot of energy to start your day. And so consider just maybe your tangible next step is to eat breakfast and add a protein. Stay hydrated, drink lots of water. Maybe you just need to add more fruit or a vegetable. I'm going to add a vegetable to every meal this week and just make sure I'm eating my vegetables. Try smaller meals throughout the day, having little snacks that are full of protein, and then also have the dark chocolate. Don't forget that it's okay to have those sweets every once in a while. I'm a sucker for a good dark chocolate, and they say it's very healthy for your heart. I don't know if that's true or not, but they say that. So have the dark chocolate. And then here at the QR code there and that website there, there's some healthy snacks that you can use to go to. It's just some ideas. And then there's also free wellness apps. These are some that I found. I'm sure you all have heard of some yourselves. Headspace is just an app that just helps you create some mindfulness and meditation exercises. There's a free version, and then there's like a one that you could pay for. And then you also have the Sleep Plus Plus app. It helps you better understand how well you're sleeping. Oh, great. Brandon has a great recommendation for that. And then it really helps you. My husband uses the sleep app. He has ADHD, and it really helps him just to understand and to keep his sleep on schedule. And it really helps him to know how he's sleeping throughout the night. And it helps with being able to communicate things to the doctor as well. So sleep app is really great. Yoga for beginners helps you learn how to relax your mind and then your body as well. They have moves that you can try, and it's really friendly for beginners, and you can like customize your own. So that might be a fun app to try. And then the last app I really love, it's the All Trails app. This app really helps those who love to be in nature find hiking trails that are near to you. This is a really great app to download if you're on vacation somewhere and you want to do something that's free or low cost. You could find a local like hiking trail. It's a really great app to have, and it has the local trails here as well. So I guess the time-old question is, how do we find time to support our own self-care with our children there too? I think, this is all really great, and it could really, we can move and choose one thing to do, but our children need a lot of us, and we lovingly, and we want to give all of us to them. But sometimes we need to have that self-care. So how do we do that with them? These are just 3 tips, and we will hopefully have more information in the future about this as well. But the first thing is important to do, and I'm putting this in here again to give you permission, because sometimes I feel like I need to just have that permission or have someone tell me it's okay. It's okay that you just pause and take a breath. When your children are acting out, or when they are overly excited and they're just really, like birthdays, for instance, they're super, super excited and they're bouncing off the walls, and it's overwhelming sometimes. It's okay for you to pause and just take those deep breaths. Maybe siblings are having a little argument and you're trying to intervene and they're not listening, and saying something like, I'm feeling really frustrated right now and I need to take a break. Yes. Great. So taking that pause and the breath at home and then acting, it helps their brains calm down, and it helps our brains calm down. Our calm brains can only help to calm other brains. I know when I'm feeling frustrated and flustered, it doesn't help. Also, I want to encourage you to encourage your children to do independent play at home. This is harder with the toddlers and the infants, 100%. It is, but as old as, I don't even know, like 3 probably, you can start letting them have time to maybe have a quiet time if they don't take naps, then maybe you just say, okay, for 30 minutes, you're going to be in your room. And this is called your quiet time. This is the time where you do things just for you. And mom or dad, I'm going to go do things just for me. And so you set the tone that it's important for us every day to have time to ourselves. And so during that time, maybe you just want to take care of the dishes. Maybe you want to read a book for 30 minutes. But just encourage your child to just take that time in their room to do something. You might have to create like a little like independent play or like quiet time box for them to make them excited. And again, we're hopefully going to have more resources regarding this in the future, but encouraging that independent play and that quiet time allows them to see you do it, and then also allows you to just have that time. And then also create a self-care routine. Children love routines, and I am learning quickly that as a parent, I need to establish more routines in my life because it really helps our family as we're moving through just our day. So one way to start a self-care routine is just thinking about what replenishes you and when you can do that. What is tangible for you? So thinking through all those ideas, what actually like fills your bucket and helps you feel better and helps you feel more calm and less stress. And then choose one of those things that you would like to incorporate, and then do that activity every day for a week. After a week, reflect on how you feel and how's it going. Can you add something more now, or do you need to take that one away and start all over again? Choose whatever you feel comfortable with, and know and give yourself permission that if it's not working, that's okay. And then lastly, get support. Don't do this alone. Set that routine and then tell your partner. Set that routine and tell your friend. Maybe you want to like walk more and you're going to tell your friend, and you and your friend maybe FaceTime or like talk during the walk. And you say every 15 minutes, we're going to go on a walk. Not every 15 minutes, every day for 15 minutes, we're going to do a walk. Just think through how you're going to get that support and accountability. Because I know for me, I don't maintain things without that support. So those are just some general ways to get started. I hope that you have a wonderful day.